when it happened when we were in Vegas.
Oh, yeah,
I had V FaceTime me as the cops were here walking through, and I was like, "Can you just like go inside beforehand and like hide my weed?" And then we get to the bedroom, and all the drawers and the nightstands are open, and the bottom one is like my sex drawer, and it's just like wide open, and she's walking through, and I'm just like, nope, yeah, everything looks good in that drawer. we can just move on. If you can close it if you want.
It'd probably be the squeakiest clothes ever.
It's just like rum. It's like, yeah, that's fine. It's good.
Like almost every movie in the 2000s, they close shut, and then all of a sudden it just starts vibrating. It's like, oh, I can't get this open now. Oh no, everyone.
Yeah, we're good. We're good in that drawer. Yeah. Don't worry about it.
Hola! Welcome back to another episode of Bed by Nine. In this episode, we discuss the Olympics, but you won't have to hear us talk about it for another 2 years, so just deal with it. And then we also discuss Jungle Cruise and Suicide Squad. So let's jump into the episode. Bye!
Snaps, huh?
Is the name of the game.
I hate that fucking game. I'm glad we didn't get to play that.
Do you know it?
Kinda.
Okay.
I
so
haven't focused enough.
Out,
yeah, I could get the names of. I could probably get. No, I'm sorry. I can get the first letters, but I still don't get like the syllables and how many. Yeah, it is. Yeah. So, welcome back to another episode of Bed by Nine. I am one of your hosts. I should have had my hat on. And the other host.
It looks weird.
Yeah, it's over the headphones.
But why would you? You should put the headphones.
I'm gonna until you once you introduce yourself.
I don't like it. I'm your host. I don't like it. I am starting to like it. I like it.
I'm your host. I have a regular size forehead now.
This reminds me of one of your Tinder photos or Grindr photos.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. And you were drinking something too.
Mm-hmm.
Hev's drinking my milk.
Don't know. I'm drinking your nut milk. If you could be a little bit more specific.
I wish I could go. It's oat milk.
No, it's cashew.
No.
Yes, it is.
Is it cashew?
Yeah.
The chocolate one is cashew?
Yeah, it's cashew and almond.
I'm pretty sure it's oat.
I'll bet you right now.
What are we betting? And I don't bet with my left hand.
I bet you right now.
What are we betting?
5 nickels.
25 cents.
Yeah, 25 cents.
Okay.
Guys, you just witnessed a very high stakes bet.
Stay tuned for the next episode where we find out who wins.
Yeah.
This is your incentive to come back.
We're back at 11. All right. So, how was your week, good sir?
It was good. Work was good. Work was great. Got some things that have been looming, resolved, or moving at least in the right direction, which they hadn't been for a while. So that was wonderful. And then I've been doing like 3-a-day workouts like every day, and it's been great. And my company just started their own Olympics.
You went into this a little bit.
And I'm competing in it, and I'm doing well. Currently, I'm in second place.
In which category?
Well, in like the physical race category. So like your workouts and stuff, you enter like how long you've done a certain workout, and then it converts it into miles, and then whoever has the most miles at the end of 2 weeks, they'll give a gold, a silver, and a bronze. Right now, I'm a very close silver.
Did you start this workout specifically for your...
No, I was actually doing this like a week before they even like announced it, and then I was like, well, I might as well just keep it up for the next 2 weeks just to make sure.
Are they called the Olympics? Are they?
No, well, it's the full name of the company and then Olympics.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Olympics?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I just don't want to get canceled, so like I'm not giving out that information.
You can cut it out. And also, so with that being said, there is a certain type of Olympic category that you mentioned at dinner the other night. So could you go into detail about
The
about
dance
that?
challenge.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, God. So it was great. So they're doing like on top of like you do the physical race activity and whatnot. We're all divided into teams, and then like they have different activities every other day, where like we have representative for our teams that are representing us, and then they like do these stupid competitions. So like one of them's like a spelling bee, and this other one was a dance challenge. So like basically everyone that entered in it were like professional, well, semi-professional dancers or like had some dancing capabilities. And I knew this because when they got on camera to do this whole activity, you know, some were wearing like their ballet leotards, and like others are wearing like their ballroom whatever, and they had like dance shoes and all this sort of stuff. And so I think they like thought going into it was going to be like they're going to play music and everyone kind of does like the dance that they know how to do, and then we're going to vote on who we think was like the coolest or whatever. And then it ended up just being like, no, here's a TikTok video and you guys have to do it. They like played it through twice and then they had to learn it. So it was like 50 and 60-year-old people doing TikTok challenges. And like, while that was funny enough, they were using like this new platform called like Hopin, which is, it's like a Zoom, but you're able to like show a video and show contestants at the same time. So they were able to like display the TikTok video as one of the users' profiles, and then they had all the different people like trying to recreate it so you could compare. But whoever was figuring it out couldn't. And they just like kept messing up. So they had like the host video, who was like, they hired some dude to like host the Olympics, and then they had like the TikTok video and then like the 9 different dancers. And it was like everyone was supposed to be dancing, but then only the host would be displayed. And so like it's playing the song so you can hear the TikTok video going on, but it's just the host and he's just like kind of standing there. And then they're like, okay, the polls are open. Vote for who you think was the best. And everyone's like in the chat and they're like, we couldn't see anything. And then like he's like, oh, we had some technical problems. We're gonna do it again. And then it would just show the TikTok video and no one else. Like this person could. And they did like 4 rounds of this because every team had like 2 representatives or whatever. And every single time they just like could not figure it out. So it was supposed to be like a 30-minute activity. It ended up being like an hour and some change just because like whatever. And then they ended up just canceling the next event because they couldn't figure it out. And I was just, and so what they were like, yeah, we're going to cancel the next event for like technical difficulties while we figure those out. But everyone just gets a gold medal. And I was like, oh, this is like AYSO. So
AYSO?
Arizona Youth Soccer Organization. And they changed like their ruling when I was a kid, and like everyone got a participation trophy. There was no like winners and losers. Yeah.
That stuck with you.
Yeah, because fuck that. Kids need to learn that there's winners and losers in life, and they need to learn that most of them are losers.
Okay.
You're kids.
All right.
Yeah, that's my stance. I hate participation trophies. Like,
Okay.
nah, you don't get it.
All right. Good to know. Good to know you're not about
You don't get a participation trophy in life.
You do.
What? Social Security. And you have to live your life for like 65 years before you cash in on that.
Yep.
And who knows if it's going to be around. Actually, I don't think they'll ever get rid of Social Security.
No, our Social
It's just gonna
Security is going to be coupons for McDonald's. It's like, hey, we got 1 free meal this week. This is
Whatever.
your Social
Give me a
Security.
chicky nug. And a
Don't call it that.
chicky nug nug.
No.
No.
Nom nom.
A nom nom. Nom nom. How was
right.
your week?
All right. My week was
already know,
yeah, it was a roller coaster of a lot of work and a lot of stupid stuff. But that is the life of a consultant, and I will say I had one notable experience with the one person at work who does listen to the podcast.
Who doesn't?
Who does?
This is for you.
Zach. We
It was
I
Zach?
yeah, it was. I had no. Maybe a different story. So
I'm staring him down.
it.
I'm on his side, Zach.
You don't know what the situation is.
I'm
All right.
holding out to the end of the story to determine whose side I'm on.
It was one of my late work days, and I was faced a problem, and I was just. It was one of those things where you see the problem, you've done every possible angle to address the problem, and now with all those, you did everything in your power. You needed help, and everyone else who could help me was not online.
They said,
And
nope, it's
then-
5 p.m.
Yeah, pretty much. And then I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go take 3 shots. And then when I got back from taking those 3, I think it was vodka at that time.
Okay, so you were angry.
Yeah, I was very frustrated. And that with the work, not being able to solve this and everything like that. And then before I took those shots, I messaged in our chat and it was like, hey, can someone help me out with this? And then I went to go take the shots, and then I came back, and then Zach was like, hey, I'm here. And I can help. And I'm like,
I don't have a life.
I'm
Just kidding, Zach.
And as soon as I got on the call, he's like, hey, we got to hurry this up. I got to go with my wife. I'm like, okay, yeah, this no
You
problem.
got to put
And
some
then-
things in some things.
So we got on, and immediately I sat down, and I'm like, okay, there is 6 screens in front of me, and I only have 2 because I could not see straight. And I had to basically talk through my issue and get his help on the same exact issue. And he dealt with me, even though he knew that I wasn't all there. We didn't talk about it until the next day, but he knew that I wasn't all there. And it was one of the more... I was literally clicking on another screen, and he was like, "You're not."
I can't
it's not,
see
no,
what
no,
you're
no.
doing.
Yeah, no, it's not moving. I'm like, "Oh yeah, you're right. My bad. Let me go over here and do that." I was using a lot of filler words to make it sound like I was very involved, and I couldn't even figure it out. But at the end of the fucking call, he fucking figured it out.
Yeah.
It
Way to
was
go,
one
Zach.
it was one of the steps that
You should have
I
done it
did.
faster, but-
Yeah, very fair. It was one of the steps that I did, and I just didn't take it to the next level because I didn't know that was possible. So he helped me out.
You
It
didn't
was very
Sierra.
good. I didn't what?
Sierra?
What does that mean?
Level up. Level up. That's what you said. Zach gets it.
Yeah, no, Zach does not. So that was my week. It was very hard. It was a very strenuous week, but I'm looking forward to a vacation in a few weeks. So I'm just trying to make it through till then.
So, okay, so for you, it was frustrated with work. Shot. Like, it was just, you poured 3 shots in a row and you did it. Or-
It was 1, and I'm like, okay, 2.
and you're like, still there.
No. And then the 2, I walked to the computer, walked back, and
Nope.
then 3.
You're
Yeah.
like, no, I saw my computer and I'm
Yeah.
still mad.
Yeah.
So vodka is your frustrated liquor of choice.
No, it was
just
just
there.
it was there, and I'm like,
Ooh.
and I had cranberry juice, and I'm like, okay, I could just chase this with cranberry, and it worked.
Was it warm?
Yeah, the
You
vodka
didn't
was
even
warm.
you didn't even cool it down.
No.
Oh,
So it's
boy.
like you know when I take shots, I normally don't make a face after, and the vodka I always make faces after vodka. So and the cranberry just helped. So
Okay. Well, you got through it.
I did.
Shout out to coworkers / friends like Zach.
Like Zach. Zach Attack.
Love you. We'll be sending you some merch.
All right. How about this? We talk about the Olympics. Your favorite artist, the baby, and then we can get into our topics.
The baby.
So the Olympics this week. Did you see anything?
I watched a lot of beach volleyball because the women won gold. Sorry, spoiler alert if you don't know, but it happened. So that was fun, and then I watched a lot of indoor volleyball because the women's team won gold as well, which is the first time ever. So that was also great. I watched a lot of track and field. I tried to catch everything Allison Felix was doing because I beat her in a Peloton race, and I just kind of wanted to like say that at every chance I could that she was on the TV screen to my dogs because no one else was here, but I still wanted to brag about it.
You could have FaceTimed us.
I could have. And then I also, during the Olympics, they always show Usain Bolt commercials, and I also beat him in a Peloton race, so I also mentioned it at every chance that I could.
So
for that,
you're
too.
better than 2
sprinters in a long distance bike race.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
but
They both have
but
multiple
it makes
gold
me
medals,
feel
right?
good,
Right.
and it also makes me feel good to put other people down. So it's like a complex.
So you're better than 2 registered gold medal athletes, is what
yeah.
you're saying. Okay. Okay.
The most decorated women's
Decorated,
track
there we
and
go.
field
That-
Olympian. Actually, not even female. I think just the most decorated Olympic track and field athlete ever. I am better than her at Peloton.
Okay. You hear that here first, you guys.
Calling you out, Allison.
Get
and
better
Usain.
at standstill bike.
Come
what's
at
it
me,
called?
bro.
It's recumbent bike, where it's just. Look, I'm not good. With
I've
words.
never heard the word recumbent before, but I'm interested. And if you are correct, that's a great word of the day.
It's standstill.
Recumbent. It does.
Hey!
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a recumbent bike.
Lying.
Keith's got you guys.
Adjective. Especially of a person or human figure lying down, a recumbent bicycle.
Huh.
I feel like lying down isn't a good
Well, I think it's for
definition
those
for
bikes
it.
over there.
But yes, it is a recumbent. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, then maybe it's not it's a stationary bike.
There we go. There we go.
Recumbent's the one where you're like leaning back.
Yeah, a little bit. There we go.
yeah.
So,
But-
all right, I was
But recumbent
close.
bike is a thing.
Yeah.
Yes, you were very close. Okay, I get it.
All right. Did you watch any of the swimming when it was on?
Well, I watched the first half of the Olympics is the swimming, and then they like basically then track and field starts and the swimming wanes off.
Okay.
But so yeah, I did watch the swimming for the first half as
Okay.
much as I could.
All right. Did you find any of the USA gold medalists or people who medaled attractive?
Yeah, we talked about
the
this
internet?
last time.
Did we?
Yeah.
No, I just remember.
Remember I was talking about how they were broad and lanky and I was into it.
Oh,
Oh yeah, but
Okay.
I'm happy to talk about their body.
no, we talked about it. We're talking about my Olympic experience.
Okay,
Sorry.
what's your Olympic experience?
Well, first off, I
Who
just
did you
because-
jerk off to?
I jerked off to internet, and never ever our athletes, because that's gross. I think I don't know who I'm trying to point this out to.
I don't understand why you're wearing skin tight spandex with your junk flopping around if we're not supposed to look.
That you're talking about me.
No, not you specifically.
Okay, all right. No, that's fair. No, I agree. Them things is thangin' out there.
Yes.
I just wanted to bring up the USA men and USA women basketball team.
Okay. Both got
As
gold.
of, both got gold, and right now that's like the 4th straight for the men. And then if you could guess for the women how many straight golds they've got.
I don't think they've lost since it became a thing. I think it's like their 6th or 7th, isn't it?
7th.
Yeah, I think when they made it a professional thing, they haven't lost. I don't even think they've lost a game.
From the story I just rememred, I think they're 58-0, not including this Olympics.
Okay. Have U.S. women's b-ball. That's short for basketball.
Don't do that. Don't ever.
Game? Match?
Yeah, it's definitely a
match
tennis
is
match for sure.
Hasn't lost in the Olympics since 1992.
Yep. That was Lisa Leslie, because I just saw an interview with her where she was talking about it and how she was not getting as much love as the men. And I'm like, yeah, I get it.
They have won 54.
Okay, so I think
Straight.
with this makes it 58.
And then the U.S. men have redeemed themselves.
Barely.
After they lost 2. They lost to Nigeria.
They lost 2 or 3
Like
prelim
games.
matches.
And then they got their shit together.
And they got their shit together. They stopped playing U.S. basketball and started playing foreign basketball. And it was good.
Did you watch any of it?
No. It comes on at 3 a.m.
No. Did you watch highlights or anything?
Oh, yeah, definitely not. And you can tell that they kind of got their stuff more together.
Who was the
But
coach from? Popovich?
Pop. Coach Pop.
Does he still look like death?
He has never stopped looking like that. He's looked like death since he was in the 40s. He's in the 70s now.
Man.
So,
He's
yeah.
got money, though.
Oh,
So.
but he
Good for
is
you.
paid.
Does he have a hot wife? I'm guessing he's married.
Nah, I
And
think
his wife is
his wife passed away.
Oh, well.
You gonna still type that in your
Yeah.
computer?
I'm just trying to figure out how to spell Popo, P-O-P-O.
So you know, like it's pop off the bad to vodka.
Oh, yeah, R.I.P. Yeah.
Yep.
He didn't remarry, no girlfriend?
Why would he do that? He's 80 years old, a
Because
millionaire.
he wants... Oh, he might have a girlfriend. Oh? Oh? Oh. Okay, no.
Yeah,
All right.
we
Rest
done
in
with
peace
that
to your wife, good sir.
super.
Congrats on
sidetrack.
the win, men.
Congratulations.
And because of the U.S. women's basketball gold and the women's volleyball gold, the last 2 gold medals we got, we overtook China by 1 medal in the gold medal count, which means it's been like 5 Olympics straight that we've
Woo!
gotten the most gold medals.
Hey, you hear that, China? You're not as good as us this time around. Please don't cancel YouTube.
And please still fulfill all of our Amazon things.
Yes,
Thanks.
definitely. Did you? I want to sidetrack a little bit to the,
Please do.
I guess, women's soccer. One of the stars, Meg Rapinoe.
Yeah. Purple hair.
Yeah, she was promoting CBD and I think other weed products, right?
Yeah.
And we got on Sha'Carri Richardson. I hope I said her name right.
Yeah.
About
Yeah.
her doing weed stuff. Weed.
I'm not an undercover cop.
Hey, youth. Do you know about that puff passing? How do you feel about that?
I think it's asinine.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's absolutely ridiculous.
Do you think the man?
Especially because it's been promoted like since she's been at the Olympics, and it's like you literally have someone that couldn't make it because they smoked a joint after their mom passed away. So it's like, I don't know. It's like,
Are they
you're-
punishing black women
So-
for weed?
well,
Okay.
but you're looking at, okay, so there is a medicinal side to marijuana, and then there's also a pleasurable side, right? So like if you smoke weed, you get the medicinal purposes because of the CBD, but you also get the high with the THC. And so Megan Rapinoe is promoting the CBD portion, so they extract that. You know, you can buy that on Amazon and all this sort of stuff because it relaxes your body at, whatever. And so they're saying that if you extract that and just have the CBD thing, which is the health effects, which are the things that would actually assist your body, that's okay. But if you also get a high with it, the thing that would make you probably less efficient of an athlete, right? Like, I can't imagine playing tennis high and being being better than I am sober. That's the issue. Like, that doesn't make sense. And then so penalizing someone for getting high, but then, putting on a pedestal someone that is just taking the medical benefits out of the seat, that it seems completely backwards to me.
Okay.
And especially when you didn't let her go to the Olympics and then they're promoting it at the Olympics. Like,
Right.
that's a slap in the fucking face.
I agree. I definitely
So
agree.
that's my take on it.
I just feel like there's been so many conversations around it that I've heard, and I don't necessarily talk about this stuff with you during the week. So I'd
Right.
like to hear your opinion on it.
It's
Just
obnoxious.
because, yeah.
And you had that one, I think was it Westbrook? There's that gif of him sitting on the bench and he's like sucking
he
the
did.
edible and he's like,
Yeah.
and it's like, I don't know. It's just like, and you also know the effects of weed don't last it's like alcohol, right? Like, you drink excessive, you get drunk, and then you wake up the next morning and you might be hungover, but you don't have the drunk effect on you anymore unless you drink a lot.
I had 2 ciders last night, and I was tore up, guys.
But it wears off,
Yeah.
right? And with smoking weed, it also wears off. Like, I don't see why, like, none of it, as long as you aren't actively high when you're playing, or competing, I don't see why that's an issue.
That's fair. As someone who does not partake in the devil's lettuce, I don't know the full effects, but I can understand that. I think it is asinine as well.
Also, I would love to see an Olympics where everyone was high and competing. Let's try it.
That would be fun.
I saw someone tweet that, and I was like, that's a great idea.
There would be a lot more relaxed. Things wouldn't start on time.
No.
Probably
It's emceed by Miss Lauryn Hill.
every match is an hour and a half late with Lauryn Hill. Oh God! Did you hear that new song with her on
did.
Nas tracks? Did you like it? Yeah.
I like Nas's album.
Yeah, it's okay. All right. How about Simone Biles taking a mental health break? Well, how do you feel about that?
I'm fine with it.
Do you?
I don't understand why it was so heavily scrutinized either. I think I heard an argument by some, bless you, Bella. I think
She's staring at you like, what? Is that my name?
I heard some argument by someone that probably has no leg to stand on to, judge Olympics and female athletes, but he was saying something about like she took someone else's spot by doing that, and it's like, girl, like she went there to compete. Like, she's a professional athlete. She's the best that has ever done it. I think she probably went here wanting to put another stamp on that, being like, yeah, I'm also going to come back for another Olympics and wipe the floor clean with y'all. And then she has, this mental lapse. I guess, what did they call it? The twisties is what she said. And it's basically when your mind and your body aren't connected. And it involves when you're doing flips and turns. So you normally, like, say you're doing a double-double, so 2 backflips with 2 spins.
In and out double.
Yeah. You're getting a double-double. If you don't have the twisties, you're doing the flip as you're turning, and you're able to count that. She's not able to count her turns, her spins in the air, and that can just be super dangerous for you. So she can still do everything as long as she's not spinning while she's doing it. But you're talking about being on a balance beam doing that shit, where it's like, if you don't, just walking on that scares the fuck out of you.
Facts.
Because they say it's like the width of your cell phone. So it's like, yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah, my foot can't fit on that. Like, are you kidding me? And then, so it's just like, I don't know, like, and that's why you have alternates on the team anyway. So she's like, I can't perform to an Olympic level right now because of what's going on with me, physically and mentally. So let me put someone else that has worked hard to be on the team and is there for these specific kinds of reasons to do it. And they still got silver, like, in the group competition. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And then she fights through that all. Her aunt passes away while she's there. And then she still comes back to do the balance beam. She gets like 6/10 of difficulty removed from her actual performance because she took all the twisting elements out of it. And she still gets bronze. So it's like, this girl is like, I don't know. I feel like that is even more commendable than her going there and just like sweeping it all again, because we've seen her do that at the previous Olympics. Like, she fought through so much adversity, and I don't understand why we scrutinize people when we're fat pieces of shit sitting on our TV yelling at Allison Felix and Usain Bolt that you beat him in a fucking Peloton race. Like,
You're not fat,
but
you are a piece of shit.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like, it's
Right.
just like, in general, like, none of us are in a position at all to be dealing with what they're dealing with physically or mentally, and then we like to assert our opinions because,
I heard
everyone can have a podcast.
Hey, subscribe
Thanks
and share.
for
you guys.
tuning in.
I heard one good argument against her mental health just because of her previous actions. Not necessarily was taking her down, but it was more like you brought on the pressure. You're not living up to the pressure. It's okay to scrutinize you just because of that. Not saying your mental health is bad and you can't do it based on that, but it's more like she, up until the Olympics, she was doing interviews. It was like, do you think anyone can beat you? She would
like,
smile and say, I don't think anyone can. She would walk around with a goat here, goat here.
Right.
You're living up to the hype. You're walking in that hype.
Sure.
And then you're on the biggest platform every 4 years and you don't get that. We can scrutinize you a little
Right.
bit. Not saying you're wrong for doing it, but I'm just like, hey, you can get scrutinized. And then they compared her to Michael Jordan in the sense of who had more scrutiny. And it was it was comparative of, because Michael stepped away from the game 3 times because of stress. And he does not get the gripe that everyone does today. And he's considered.
And he was public about that at the time.
Oh yeah,
He was like, it's too stressful.
His dad. No, so first time, I may be getting this wrong. First time he stepped away, he won 3 championships in a row. He's like, I don't need this anymore.
This was in the 90s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Second time, his dad died. And then the third time, he just was retiring and everything.
Which
like that.
Which one did he break and then go to baseball?
The first one. It
And
was
then
the
he
first
came
one.
back, and that's when he came back to the Bulls, or did he go to when did he go to the Wizards?
The Wizards was the third time.
Okay.
Okay, I could be getting
And
this
then
wrong.
he was done after the Wizards.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I could be getting it wrong, but he's very vocal at the time. He was like, I don't think I could do this anymore for everything like that. But mental health is a different thing than it was in the 90s and now. And they were talking about it as like every time Jordan got scrutinized, it was maybe twice a day. In the morning on the newspaper and at night ESPN the news.
Right.
That's it. And you can turn that off. You don't even have to tune that in.
Right.
And everything like this.
This was like before the internet
Yes.
like took off.
Now with Simone Biles, if she breathes wrong, and not only are you going to get a notification here, you're going
Right.
to keep getting notifications all day because there's thousands of platforms that are going to be talking about it.
Yeah.
So you have to look at it in the sense of, as soon as you say you want to do something for your mental health, it gets blasted on
Right.
you. In a sense of like, no, Simone right now has it worse than Michael Jordan, easily.
Right.
And I saw multiple conversations on it, and there was just that one about her walking in the GOAT shoes. You got to understand that sometimes that is what your scrutiny is going to be about.
Yeah.
You said you want to be the best. Sometimes the best have to make those sacrifices of your mental health, which is dumb to say, but it's like, if you want those shoes, you got to walk in
Yeah.
those shoes. So that was the only one I felt. I'm on the mental
And
health
the-
side. Take
yeah.
a break. Nothing's going to stop me from taking a break. I'll
And then
tell you
also
that.
just to like, add a further comparison of how I feel like they're different. Like, I don't think Michael Jordan being mentally impaired, I don't think he was ever physically in danger. Right?
Oh,
Where like
no,
Simone
yeah.
Biles doing countless flips
Yeah.
in the air, like she has a very high risk of severely injuring herself. Like
It's
there was
it's one of the most dangerous sports out there, if not the most dangerous at the
right,
Olympics.
like slightly
Oh, yeah.
off, you're gonna tear your ACL or your whatever, or break an ankle
Yeah.
or whatever. So it's just like Michael Jordan, if he was mentally impaired, like he probably was physically fine to be on a court and not risk dying or what have you. I'm taking it extreme,
But so in another sense is, I don't want to talk about it. I think we're both on the same page. It was just like, I saw so many good conversations about it, and everyone giving her credit, no one being sexist. Everyone was like, can you do gymnastics? No,
No,
she's great.
I can't.
Everyone who does gymnastics is great.
Right.
We can't do it, but these flips. Like, I'm just like, hey.
yeah. But she persevered and she came
Yeah.
back. And I remember Novak Djokovic, he had said something along the lines of
Sounds
like,
like BoJack Horseman. I'm so sorry.
no,
But
it's
go ahead.
fine. But he's the number 1 tennis player in the world, and he's like pretty much the GOAT. Like he's amazing. He's annoying, but he's amazing. And he was saying like when you're at this level, you have to find ways to deal with the pressure and yada yada yada. And I don't know if it was directly pointed at Simone, but it came out like the day after they had asked him. So it was
Timing.
probably like after his match, he's doing a posting interview and they asked maybe, what do you think about Simone? And he just gave that general answer. And then he's in the semifinals to try to get to, the gold medal match. And then he completely blows it and like loses it. He's throwing his racket in the stands. He's like breaking it, freaking out right after he mentions this. And I'm like, okay, that's instant karma coming for him. And then he goes to play for the bronze medal match, and then he gets like basically the same thing. Like he just like crashes and burns, and I'm just like, okay, so but no one you didn't hear anything about this, right? And you follow sports blogs and all this sort of stuff, and it's
not
like
the tennis sex.
no, but I mean
Yeah.
like. But
Yeah.
you have this American, and it could be because he's not American, so it probably didn't get
that was
advertised
going to be
here.
one of my questions. Like what?
He's Serbian,
Oh, okay.
but still the greatest of all time, and he's number one in the world. So it's like ESPN for sure could have easily covered it,
Right.
But we ignore it because
America.
yeah. So it's just like I don't know. It's like if you're gonna scrutinize it, I feel like you have to be consistent about it. But I also think that it's time that we give mental health
Yeah.
the due respect that it deserves.
Oh, yeah.
Because especially because these people, like, I know how that feels being in a regular 9 to 5 job sort of thing. And I know how much that impacts my life. Like, I can't imagine being on cameras, being on a world stage in front of everyone and getting that same pressure, just being like, yo, I need like a day off. That would be nice. And then we're like, nah.
Yeah.
Like, you have to win as a gold medal, ho.
God, someone else mentioned the actual like money ramifications of her not competing and not even attempting to get gold. Now, I know this
Because
is
of like betting?
No. Oh, with her status, with her getting gold, previous athletes who have the ability or who have gotten gold were able to get contracts
Endorsement
from
deals and
it,
stuff.
from based off of that. So like I think Michael Phelps, and I'm probably quoting this wrong, was like, if you get this 8th gold medal or whatever it is, you get $100 million from it was like
I
Under
see.
Armour or something like that.
Okay.
Now Simone, being in this day and age, has something like that lined up for her as well.
Right.
And now that money's not just for her; it's her team. Like her family as her team, her teammates potentially, and other support. So
Yeah.
not only is that there,
Right.
you get all this other bullshit pressure and everything like that. So not only she had to take a mental break from like, oh, this is gonna fuck up my money. This is gonna fuck up this, and she still did it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
And the crazy thing is she was there for every competition, like cheering on her teammates when she was doing the balance beam finals, where you're competing individually against other countries and competitors. They were like showing her as other people were competing, and she's like cheering them on. Like she seems like a very kind-hearted person and like wants the best for everyone. And I think like that also kind of solidifies where she feels like, I feel mentally with the GOAT status. She's like, I am the greatest of all time. And if I execute and I don't have, these problems going on, like no one really can beat me. And she's proven that over and over. So I think her like actually cheering on other people and wanting the best for them, like just shows her character through it all. It's just like, well, fuck all of you. Like at the end of the day, I'm probably still getting my $20 million contract that none of y'all are ever going to get.
That's
so
facts.
suck a dick.
all right. I mean, that's a bit aggressive, but yeah.
But
I mean,
still,
Olympics was fun. From what I've seen, the highlights that I've seen, the Instagram posts that I've seen.
and sex on a cardboard bed.
How could they stop them from smashing?
I saw this video. It was which we never really did. We ever talk about the Snoop and Kevin Hart commentary
No.
for it? Well, they were commentating on the hammer throw, which is like you have like a shot put ball, I think.
Right here?
No, it's a shot put ball and it's attached to like a string. So you're like
Oh.
swinging around and then you throw it. And when it lands, they're like, oh, do you think someone actually goes out and retrieves this? No, there's a person with a remote control, like, RV car. And it just, like, drives out there. And then one of the retrievers just puts it on the car. And then they, like, drive it back using, like, the remote control.
did not
thing.
see
And
that at all.
He was like, so you can afford this RV car that you just drive around the track field, just driving it around, picking up weights. And you're giving these people cardboard boxes to smash on, the one that probably that car came on. I was just like, oh, this is gold. This
That's
is good.
hilarious.
Yeah.
No, that's oh man. Now I gotta go watch their commentary highlights.
Honestly, if you just go on YouTube and you do like Snoop and Kevin
All I
Olympics,
saw
they have like
was-
50 clips and they're all hilarious.
All I saw was the one was like, it's hilarious that Snoop's feet are so big and you can't see Kevin's at all.
I like
gosh.
the one where it's like Snoop just sits like he's about to crip walk.
Yep. Yep. God, that is so. Oh God, that was
The
so cool.
video with the horse and he's like commentating and he's like, "Come on, cut." I was like, "Oh, this is great."
Snoop.
Best thing NBC decided to do
Have
in the
him.
Olympics.
Yeah. I don't know what they had to say to him. It's like just don't say.
Like, you want black people to watch the Olympics?
Oh yeah, Snoop. Just don't
is
say
the way
the
to do it.
N-word. Trying to keep the gang references down to a minimum. I don't know what else we can
Best thing NBC decided to do.
do. Yeah, I agree.
Shit was gold.
I agree. All right, let's jump into our movies. Let's start with Jungle Cruise or
Yeah,
The Rock's Pirate of the Caribbean.
Yeah, basically.
Pretty much.
Johnny Depp presents The Rock playing him.
No, it's a different.
I know,
it's
but
a
it's
different
also
thing.
not.
It's also not. First impression, super high level overview of the movie. They're in the jungle.
Mm-hmm.
There's Tears of the Moon,
I think that's what it's called.
which is a plant that can cure disease.
Yeah.
And this white woman's after it, and The Rock can help.
Basically.
Ultimately, that's the
Yeah.
movie.
You combine like Pirates of the Caribbean with any Indiana Jones movie,
Okay.
and here we are.
Okay. Did you like the movie?
It was cute.
Yes.
I think I would have liked it if I was like a dad and I had my kids with me. Like
Okay.
more, I wouldn't go back and watch it again. I don't think, but I was entertained.
Okay. Okay. I would watch it again.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it that much where I was like, this is stupid, this is dorky, but I liked it. I'll definitely watch it again. The dad jokes in there, the puns, got me almost every time. I knew every joke he was saying, and I still smiled when he said it. Really love that. What I really wanted to talk about this movie is because we saw Snake Eyes right before.
Yeah, the weekend before.
Yeah, and then we watched Jungle Cruise. Was it not the day before?
We didn't see two movies in 1 week.
Okay. So we saw Snake Eyes and then we saw Jungle Cruise, and I'm like, these are eerily similar kind of in the beginning, just because it's like you do so many, like he's just so in the Jungle Cruise there's a lot of he lied a lot, right? And then
Okay.
also in Snake Eyes he lied a lot, but he didn't get caught until the end, right? And then you just you're smiling already.
No, I'm just waiting for
Yeah.
you to get through
So,
this.
so I'm like, how many times you gonna get lied to for you to not trust this person? And then of course, at the end of the Snake Eyes, you get all this armor and everything. And at the end of this, he's in love with the person who lied to him the whole time. I'm like, no, you don't like the people who lie to you. Like we deal with this right now. This is the same reason you keep going back to your dumbass baby daddy all the time when you do stupid shit. No, get these people who lie from away from you. I can't speak.
It's not
but
how
you get it.
movies work.
I know.
It's not
But
how
I'm
they
like,
work. You always get a redemption montage or something to win them back.
in Snake Eyes, there was that girl knew he was up to no good. He couldn't put his finger on it, and then he won him over. And then The Rock just constantly kept lying in this whole time. And then he was just like, dude, God, get the liars away. There's no redemption arc for liar. But no, that was just one of my comparison things
I
that I
think
felt like.
probably the best movie based on a ride, if not the only one ever created.
Right on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
They have a roller coaster called Ride Along.
No, the movie that's called Ride. I mean, you said Ride.
Yeah, I meant like Jungle Cruise is a ride at Disneyland. And
Is
they,
it?
Yeah, and they based the movie off of the ride.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like a story that they made up.
No,
No.
no,
Oh, no.
no. Like on Jungle Cruise, you basically get on like a boat.
Okay.
And then you're just going through like this jungle cruise, right? And you see like leopards and you see like tribesmen that are like blowing darts and it, sprays water at you and a hippo comes out and all this sort of stuff.
Okay.
So it's like they based the movie.
So, like
off
in the
of the ride.
beginning of the movie, when The Rock was taking those people through, like the beginning of the cruise,
Yeah,
that's how
that's
it was
like,
a ride.
and you have they have a Disney employee that gets on it, and they're just like kind of like a Rock witty dad pun kind of character, and they just like make stupid jokes throughout the ride to make you laugh and all that sort of stuff. So
Did not know that was real. I thought that was just a movie. Did you go on the Jungle Cruise? Oh, okay. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was just a story.
no,
Okay, cool.
so I'm sure, but like they even to like promote it, they had Emily Blunt and The Rock go to Disneyland, and they were the actual commentators for
That's
several
beautiful.
rides and stuff like that.
That's
I'm sure they got paid for it. But.
yeah. All right. Well,
Yeah. But no, I enjoyed it. I thought it was entertaining. A little long.
that's fair.
But
fair.
no, I mean, overall, it was entertaining, and it was very Disney.
It is very Disney.
Yeah.
Did you see like the twist in the middle when you figured out The Rock was?
Yeah, I figured he had something to do with it.
Oh, I thought he had something to do with it too, but I thought he was more like an ancestor, not necessarily the same. Because I'm like, he's so young compared to the other ones, and I'm like, oh, I get it now. No, all right. Well,
Yeah, overall, I would say, especially if you have kids, like go and see it.
Go and see it.
It's very
Cute.
entertaining,
It's adorable.
and there's enough adult content where it's just like you won't be like, oh god, I have to sit through this shit.
Right. How old is Emily Blunt?
I want to say probably like late 30s.
Late 30s. Rock is 50.
Is he?
Yeah, I'm sick of these love stories too with these old folk and these young folk.
38.
38.
Yeah.
Look up how old Rock is.
And her husband, John Krasinski, is 41. 49.
It's too old.
Vin Diesel's 54. He looks older than that.
Vin Diesel's 54.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And then John Cena's 44.
Oh yeah,
John Cena was in.
Did we jump into that one already?
It was just an opportunity because it was on the screen.
All
It's
right.
fine. I was working on my transition skills and you ruined it. So
All
it's-
right,
it's
so
okay.
so that was a good movie. So let's go ahead and cruise on to the next movie.
You making
Suicide
me wanna commit.
Cruise.
No.
Suicide
Squad.
Squad up.
Squad up.
Squad. We just saw Suicide.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad.
Merry
Nah.
Christmas. So
We can't
Suicide
talk.
Squad,
Can't talk.
they did a second one.
Now, did you watch the first one yet?
I attempted and I fell asleep and I said,
God.
no.
You have to watch it so you
Do
know
I?
where it comes from. Yeah, because comparatively, and I meant to tell you this. That's probably why Jared watched it so many times, because the first one was so weird and no.
But
point of it.
I get they explained the synopsis enough.
No, watch it. You know what? That's fine. We'll watch it after this. I'll stay. You're not doing anything.
I'm gonna go swimming.
Nope.
How?
So we'll watch it before you go. And so we watched Suicide Squad, and he liked it. I liked it.
Yeah.
I told someone last night that I liked it, and they're like, "Why didn't you like the movie? Why didn't you use a different word other than like?" I'm like, "What does that what does like encompass for you?" And I'm like, I didn't love the movie, but it's just like. I liked
enjoyed
it.
it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I definitely did.
What did you like about it, Hev?
Well, I probably would have liked this parts where I got up twice in the movie to go to the bathroom. But I enjoyed how fluid it kind of was. As of course, there's some jumping around because that's how movies are made. But I liked the one that you kind of didn't know where it was going. You didn't know how it would fully play out. It's like you saw a few things in the trailer, right? Because you know where the scenes were going to go, but you didn't know exactly who was going to be there, or you didn't know how many people were going to die and everything like that.
Right.
I liked that because I knew people were going to die. I wanted to see more people die, and I was just trying to be excited to see how that was going to get played out,
Right.
and they did a good job.
And I
Through and
think I
through.
remember Jared saying the director's contract with the studio was that no character was off limits. So you're going in there being like any character really could die.
That's
in
great.
this movie.
I really enjoyed that, and I called it a few times on some like notable deaths. I'm like, oh, they're about to die. They're talking too much right now.
They're monologuing.
Yep, it's too much of an impact. The camera's at the perfect angle. As soon as they turn, pow. And it was the one with the general when he was talking before he got to the point where he was saying some evil shit about kids. And I'm like, you don't have your back turned to Harley this long for no reason.
Right.
And then as soon as he turned around, pow. I'm like, yep. So I was just like, I loved it though, just
Karma
because.
for the birds. That's all I was saying.
No, the birds happened after.
How? Oh, because that was his.
Yeah, the general's birds, and then yeah.
Yeah, they were both dragons.
So, did you know before the trailer that the spoiler alert that the creature in there was a starfish?
No. Well, was it even in the trailer?
I don't think so. No.
They hid that completely.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's good.
Starro. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, dude, the transitions that they had, it was Suicide Squad versus Starro, and I'm like, God,
Very comic book.
very comic book, very well done.
Those transitions reminded me a lot of American Gods and how they do their
Yeah.
transitions.
Yeah, dude. Since the opening scene, it was very well put out. Just because, like I told you,
Dude, it got into it quick. It
Yes.
was like you had a 2-minute intro, and it was like we're ready.
Yeah.
Your first mission.
because how I explained it to you, the first Suicide Squad is their intro. That each character got maybe like a minute and a half intro about who they were in the backstory, and you're like, we don't care about any of these. We don't care. The only two people you cared about was
Harley and the Joker.
No, Will.
Oh.
And then Harley, and then Will and Harley were just back in. No, I'm sorry. What's Deadshot? Let's call him his real name in that. So it was Deadshot and Harley both got the big backstories, and Harley was more because
So they
she had the Joker.
recasted Will as with Idris.
Yeah, and as Bloodsport.
Oh, Bloodsport.
Yeah. Deadshot was so weird. All right.
They sound like cousins.
Yeah. But so I'm like, each of them got a 2-minute intro, and then they jump into something that does not make any sense at all for that.
Who directed the first one?
I think it was the same guy that we haven't been liking recently.
Oh,
Zack,
Snyder.
I think so.
David Ayer.
That's the first one?
Oh wait. Yeah, David Ayer.
Huh. Okay. But no, James Gunn did a great job.
Yeah, he did.
He did an amazing job through and through. I was super surprised, and just the idea of having a member part of the Suicide Squad that can control rats. What?
It reminds me of the video game that I played.
Dude, I'm like, that is. And the other guy who can throw polka dots, bro. I did not think he would have.
He was my favorite, I think.
Yeah, he was great, and I'm like, I thought he would be one of the first to die. Like, immediately thought he was one of the first to die, just because of, I guess, in most
Like you'll see his stupid little power, and then they'll kill him off, and he'll have like a funny moment, and then he'll be done.
yeah. But as soon as you saw his power the first time, I'm like, oh, he's the strongest one here because he has chemicals from outer space.
He has to dispel it twice a day,
Or he dies.
every day, or he dies.
Bro, I'm like, oh, he's the strongest one, so that's going to have an important part at the end. But I wasn't really like, it was done so well. Him being afraid of his mom and other
His
things
mom
like that. Oh.
everywhere. Oh my
And
god!
then
That
what
great.
was the driver at the end? His name was Wilson? Winston?
Winston?
Okay.
Something of the sort.
That was one of the funniest scenes. It just everything when he was in it or about him was the funniest because it didn't fit, and it was just like, first off, when
They
they
had like
all,
10 minutes of dialogue about him, and he said maybe like 4 words in the whole movie.
when they first got out of the van and they all walked up, and then you saw his shadow
he's
walk
just
up with
there.
him, and I'm like, why is he here? And he's a part of the crew breaking in, and he's just at the end just shoveling up. I'm like, this is gonna end hilariously. And dude, I died so many times about You're not Winston? No, we just talked about it. We had a 3-hour conversation about you being Winston. God, I was. I liked it. I really. I would watch it again, not in theaters, but I would definitely watch it again because I want to know what I missed, and I want to start seeing like kind of Easter eggs to see what's going to come out, and so you could kind of see what was coming. But no, I did great.
No,
and
they did a good job with it. I mean, especially for it being DC and knowing like where their movies have kind of been recently, I think they did a really good job with that film. I really liked a lot of how he shot it too. Like when Bloodsport, was it Bloodsport? Yeah, Bloodsport, and I forget John Cena's character, but when they were fighting,
Freedom Man.
and they something
Peacekeeper.
There you are, because he had a dove. When they were fighting and they shot the whole fight scene through like as a reflection on the helmet, and they were like spinning around. I thought that was really pretty.
That was the general because they were still downstairs on that one.
Well,
yeah,
but that shot of them like
fighting
it
in the
panning
helmet
over through the whole helmet and showing that was really pretty. I liked when Harley was like killing everyone, and then like the animated birds and like flowers.
I was in the bathroom on that part, but I saw at the very end when she was getting into the cab, you saw the colors behind her, and I'm like, I just missed something. Harley.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
Like it was just like birds and flower, like psychedelic flowers were just like instead of blood, it was just all of that like spraying everywhere, which was really pretty. And then like when the other one that I really liked was when they went into the eye at the end, and she's kind of just like floating there. That was really pretty. Like I don't know, it was just like. They had a lot of it honestly reminded me, which I know he directed Guardians of the Galaxy, but it reminded me of that with like the colors and just kind of the way that he shot that film. So
yeah, he's good at that. He either has a great eye or a great team around him who can envision and create what he envisions.
Because these are things like those are moments where it's like this looks like a screen or like a strip from the comic book.
Yeah.
I haven't read the comic or anything like that, but it looks like a very comic book style element. And I appreciate those kind of things that you incorporate into the movies. So I really like that. And then I thought, like, honestly, I thought the shark was just going to be dumb as hell. And I loved him. Like, he was dumb as hell, but like I thought it was just going to be like one of those like annoying dumb as hell sort of things, and it was actually like no, he's actually kind of funny. And
to put it in comparison, the alligator in the first one you would have hated.
Okay.
To put into I forget his name, but you would have hated the alligator compared to the shark in this one. But
okay. Yeah. So like that was good. The appropriate amount of
SNL guy.
SNL dude, David. No.
Yep. Davidson. Pete
Davidson. Which it was hilarious, like how short he was in that film.
Yeah, he has.
And he's like on the movie poster.
He has one of the more notable faces in there, and he got killed very early. And also Nathan Fillion was in there. Fillion? I don't know his full. I'm mispronouncing it, but he was the guy, detachable arm guy, and he. Spoiler alert.
But it's like within the first 7 minutes of the movie.
Bro,
and then when that all happened, I was like, where are we going with this? Like, everyone's dead?
I knew immediately it was a distraction. Because he put so much emphasis on this, and one, we didn't recognize any of these people outside of we all saw the intro of them walking out. This is the Suicide Squad, and you're like, okay, cool. And then when you didn't see Idris, you're like, oh, so this was the first revision, and then they go get Idris, or no? And I'm like, no. As soon as they land, you saw Harley, you saw the main captain dude, and he's kind of famous. I don't know his name. And I'm like, okay, so this must be a distraction, and then they live, and that's ended up with it being. So I know him from Altered Carbon because I loved him in Altered Carbon, and I don't know.
Did you ever watch The Killing?
No.
That's a really good show.
Is that the one where they're
detectives? This girl goes missing.
It's the one with 3 seasons and each season is different.
It was on AMC. The first 2 seasons are about the same case, and then they had 2 more seasons after that. And
I don't think I've seen
the
that.
third like each of the next seasons, like it was first on AMC, then AMC canceled it, and then Netflix picked it back up.
Okay.
But The Killing is really, really good.
Hmm.
But yeah, he's a good actor, and wasn't he RoboCop? Didn't they redid RoboCop like a year ago?
Isn't that Doom? Not RoboCop?
Yeah, he was 2014. He was RoboCop.
Pull that up.
Joel Kinnaman is
Okay.
his name.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But he was super scrawny in The Killing, like tall, lanky, looked like a stick. And then he's like beefed up so much since then.
I think he had to for Altered Carbon. And then yeah.
But
All right.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, overall I thought it was really good.
What was
Very
missing?
well
Could
done.
it have gotten better in your book?
There were a couple parts where I was like, this is a little like you're talking too much. Like which I know it came into play at the end, but like the scene where they're driving in the van and Rat Girl and
Talking about the past.
Bloodsport are talking, that went on for like 5 minutes, and I was like, this is
Too much.
That-
Killing.
that was a little much. But I think other than that, like I thought it was like they hopped into everything really quickly. Like every character just knowing that they could be vulnerable and dying, you know, and the comedic parts that they like threw in throughout, I thought were well timed, and it wasn't like comedic where I felt like it was overdone. It was just very true to the characters, and it was more like situational comedy versus like something someone's actually saying, like when they're in the jungle and they're approaching and they just like, you know, have a competition of like killing all the people, and then you just find out that they were killing all, you know, the good people, and then it's just like,
I was
oh.
just gonna mention that. They were like, "Oh, we didn't see any people. No, we didn't. No.
I was like, oh, this is funny, and this would be like kind of a natural
Yeah.
reaction. So like, oh my bad, sorry, oopsie daisy, fucking it up.
But I did want to laugh because I'm like, okay, so those are the good guys. You just killed all the good guys, and now you're teaming up with the good.
The good guy.
But
'Cause we thought
where
you
the
were-
rest of the good guys
Yeah.
gonna come from? Because you killed them all,
Yeah.
and I'm like, yeah. But okay,
So, but yeah, overall, I'd say it was probably like a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Like I enjoyed it.
yeah, I could see that.
For the
Like
most
I
part.
couldn't think of anything really to add. I mean, I'm a big. I could see that movie being longer, and I'd be okay with it. Like
No, appropriate length.
I'm a big backstory guy, so I would love backstory.
But you were just complaining in the first one how they did a minute and a half of backstory to
no,
introduce.
it was
characters.
bad.
Oh,
It was once again, you have to see it to
I
understand.
fell asleep before the credits ended,
Yeah. All right.
like the opening credits.
I'm gonna sit you down and watch it one of these days, so you
Okay.
can know that.
Okay.
But all right, that's gonna be it for us, you guys. Watch Suicide Squad. Watch Jungle Cruise. Watch Woo Assassins, and you guys have a good week. Take
3
care.
shots of vodka.